Hello, gentlemen. How are we doing? So, we are currently about 2 weeks away from what I perceive to be... Sorry, chapter. What I perceive to be the update for TF2 Halloween 2022. So, I'm sure you might have been researching from the past and keeping up to date from the recent patch note days and whatnot. So last year it appeared on October 5, the year before that it appeared on October 1st. So I've been through all of this. I hope you're reading through it as well, because I believe the update will be coming out on around either October 3rd, 4th or 5th. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Be prepared. And if you really want to prepare, of course, I've got my videos in preparing. What might that be? The TF2 playlist right here. So if you go through my playlists right here, it's right there. How to prepare for buy orders with a TF2 update. And of course, the Halloween routine investing with TF2 cases. To understand about what is going on in regards to when the Halloween update comes out. So we've been through all of this. I'm sure you're already well... invested into TF2 cases and whatnot, so you're in too deep. But what we're going to do now is explain what might you want to offer for the different grades of the cosmetics, strange as well, and then maybe unusual. So we'll go through all that, then we'll take a nice quick look and see how the things are looking on the workshop as well. So if you want to get a very good idea of how I operate when a new update comes out, I of course have the TF2 Summer 2022 update release and buy orders. And throughout all of this, you can see me going like, oh, that's come out, da-da-da-da, oh, that's come out, da-da-da-da, oh, that's come out, da-da-da-da. I'm doing my buy orders, and I operate with a usual price pattern. It's all built up from experience. So don't assume I've done the math, I've done the data, oh, I figured all out, the best statistics. No. What I've done before, I've seen how things usually end up, then I learn from that and then I attack. So here we go, let's just close that, and we'll just get right into it. So yeah, keep an eye on what the possible days might be, but as I said, October 3rd, 4th or 5th is my bet. Now, remember, you should 100% be... Okay, well, I'm on the wrong thing, sorry. SteamDB, make sure you're connected to SteamDB, and when you hear a ping for a TF2 update, it will alert you right here. Very, very helpful. Yep. And then you go to the patch notes. You, of course, read through the notes like Scream Fortress last year. It tells you all the names for the new taunts. Tells you all the names for the new hats just down here. So, yep, taunt, Profane Puppeteer, Ambulance, and then if you go all the way at the bottom, it'll tell you in order of what the what grade each of the new hats are. So you can get a good idea of what potentially to start offering for those hat prices and whatnot. And we're about to talk about that in a second. Now, also unusual paints, war paints. It doesn't tell you their name. That's very unfortunate, but you just got to live with it. Now, in being prepared, you've got to make sure you have some sort of extension that can just let you whip out a whole list of tabs, nice and prepared. As you can see, I've got a link there. I've got the patch note. So this is the accepted cosmetics section. So I've got that nice and ready. And then patch notes. So I've got that nice and ready to quickly go through here. I've got the, this is the accepted section. So I can see everything. And no, this is actually the most recent things put out in the workshop. Don't worry. And then I can easily edit in new names for new hats and whatnot. I've shown all of this in the preparation, buy orders preparation video. So give that a watch. It'll help you out a lot. So, grades. What's going on? What am I talking about? We have cosmetic cases now, and they only give us blue, purple, pink, and red grade. I mean, you could sit there and say mercenary, commando, assassin, and elite grade, but I just say blue, purple, pink, and red. Sorry about that. And if you watch my video with the TF2 cases in Halloween, you would understand that it's like you are 5 times more likely to get a blue compared to a purple. You're 5 times more likely to get a purple compared to a pink, and you're 5 times more likely to get a pink compared to a red. That's how it is. If you did 125, I believe it's 75. If you did 125 unboxings, you get 75 blues, 25 purples, 5 pinks. Actually, no, out of 126. So then you get 1 red. So out of 126, 75 blue, 25 pink, 5 I've lost my train of thought. 75 blue, 25 purple, 5 pink, 1 red. That's what I meant to say. So now you can understand how rare some of these cosmetics can be. And now you can kind of get a good idea of why they're more expensive compared to the previous ones. So with that in your head, now we're going to learn about what I might offer. So first of all, you need to be looking on the workshop right now, if you can. Get a good look of all of these cosmetics. Kind of get a good idea of what's popular, because that's most likely going to be the ones that get accepted, right? So also be aware there's Halloween specific cosmetics as well. It's usually the ones where they turn the classes into like animals and whatnot. They don't really tend to be very valuable, so let's just skip that. But yeah, I'm seeing like all class things here. I'm seeing specific class cosmetics here. Alright, so yeah, you got a lot of wacky things, right? You got a lot of wacky things. But you've got to be prepared and notice what's all class and what's single class, because that's also going to affect price. So, for example, this is the Crimson Cash collection. And that is blue, 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 that is blue. No, that's purple. Blue, 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 purple. And we can quickly see that. As we look over to here, it will tell you that this is a mercenary grade, mercenary grade mask, commander grade mask. And you can clearly see the prices are all laid out, in which blue is at the bottom, pink, purple's here. And if you were to progress, you might see that some of the strange blues are fairly cheap as well. Cheaper than a regular purple. So take this into consideration. You should start looking and seeing how did the Crimson Cash collection roll out. If you want to be a bit more recent, how did the summer 2022 cosmetic case come out? So that's a blue, that's a blue, that's a blue, that's not a blue. No, that is a blue. That's a purple, that's a blue. Yeah, so sometimes you get a purple cosmetic that just isn't very in demand. It's not very special. But what also applies to its pricing is the fact that that's only for Scout. That right there is Scout only. And you can just quickly verify that by looking at its wiki page. There you go. Scout only. It's a nice looking hat, but it's lost its value because it's only applying to Scout. Now, let's also point out that some of these aren't actually hats, but they're like clothing. And sometimes we get some very interesting clothing, like there is the Soldier Chaser. That looks very nice. You also got the Medic Fizzy Popper. But that being a blue, Soldier's one of the most favoured classes. So that tends to drive up a little bit of price. But, you know, that's not a guarantee. But that's a very good looking suit. I'm not sure if it's a reference to a game or something. That can also affect price. But do keep that in mind. So let's just get right into it. What prices should we start offering for these? So I've told you some influences on the prices. But let's just be, what is the safest thing to put down? So with a regular blue, a mercenary grade, I would usually offer 8 pennies my currency, which is usually equal to 10 cents American. That's for a regular blue grade cosmetic. Now for strange, I'd probably do the exact same price as well. That's usually what I would offer. But I also have multiple accounts, so I'll do an extra buy order if I feel the need to. Now with a regular blue cosmetic, I probably wouldn't do a second buy order unless it looks very interesting. Because one thing that you've got to keep an eye on though is you can't trade up to these blues. These are the lowest grade skins or hats in the case. I can trade up with blues to purple, that's not a problem. So there's always another way of getting these purples. There's always another way of getting these pinks. There's always another way of getting that red. But you can't trade up to blues. And sometimes you get a very interesting blue that's worth more than all the other blues. That happens sometimes. I believe we can find one here in the Crimson Cash case. What was the interesting blue of this collection? That was, we'll find it in a second. I think it's a pair of glasses or something. No, I've got that wrong. There was a pair of glasses in the previous one. I think it was Wicked Windfall. But it was an all-class, silly pair of glasses, and they were worth like $1 for a long time. So sometimes things like that can appear. And yeah, but regardless, you offer 10 cents, you most likely get them for 10 cents at some point. I have. I've picked up many blue cosmetics for very, very cheap, even the ones that tend to be fairly more pricey. So 8 pennies to 10 pennies is the best thing to go for being super safe. But when it's strange and blue, what prices are they now? Some of these are very similar to the prices that they are as a regular. But these tend to be the lesser... Like, if it's very gimmicky for Halloween, for example, you're not going to want to wear a Halloween hat all year round, are you? So that affects price. These aren't a hat, but they're like trinkets you put around your body. If you look at the item wiki, it'll tell you right here. It'll show you an image. So look, it's right there, and it's all class. Even though it's all class, it's still not that valuable. Actually, no, it's multiclass. I got that wrong. But yeah, it's just trinkets. It's Halloween trinkets, but that's not valuable when it's Christmas, when it's March, when it's July. You get the idea. So again, being super safe, you could only offer 8 to 10 cents. But if you really want to push it, why not offer around 15 to 17 cents as well? Remember, when the new cosmetics first come out, they're going to take their time to go down in price. That's something to keep an eye out for. So you might notice that, alright, that's getting a bit too cheap. Buying these and selling them just to get a penny profit isn't worthwhile. I'd rather play it safe. I'll remove my second buy order. That's how I normally operate. That's how I'd normally approach things. And that's exactly what's happened here with the summer 2022 case. I have removed buy orders for some of the regular and the strange buy orders that I had. Even for the red. Because it got cheap enough to the point where I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. Just leave it. So yeah, you've always got to monitor your buy orders. Let's go to purple. Sorry, I've got to do it this way. All right, purple. Here we go. What would I offer for purple? Regular purples. Well, again, look at the previous cases that have come out. Look at their collections. Look at their current prices, and then think in your head, right? If this is the lowest if this is the price it's going to be after this amount of time, then maybe I can figure out a decent price. Now, first of all, we have to remember that during Halloween, when a new Halloween case comes out, everybody's opening it. Because they're in abundance, because they're always in your inventories, they tend to have the recency bias, and they tend to be the ones that get opened the most. So when that applies to all new cases as well. Newest case usually gets opened the most when it's currently dropping, and then as it's phased out and when it's not dropping anymore, it slowly loses its popularity in being opened, because loads of people have them in their inventories, and they're more willing to just open a case they already have. So when this first came out, the second-hand headwear, for example, the price it went down to when it first appeared got fairly cheap. It was selling for around 10, 11 cents. Right now, how much is it selling for? Well, the highest buy order is actually the price that it got down to before. So around 12 to 13 cents is the price it was down to when loads of people were opening them up. But right here, that's about 16, 17 cents. Yes, there's only pennies, but if you request 100 of them, it doesn't cost too much to put the buy order down, and then when you sell them, you've made about $5, $6 profit. You know, I just do this because I can take it and then throw it onto another account, sell it on that account. You get the idea. It's an easy way to move stuff around, move funds around and whatnot, so that's just an option. You don't have to go for the regular uniques, you could just stick with strangers. So let's just focus the strangers. So with the regular purples, again, I'd probably just do 8 to 10 pennies US. Because the cheapest I just saw that go down to was, of course, 12 cents, 12, 13 cents, because I could see the top current buy order was the price it was when it was being opened tons way back then at its cheapest price. But now we look over to here, and we see a bit of a difference. We see, well, wow, that's a fair bit difference. But again, look at the previous collections, see how they're performing now, and see what they were at their cheapest. So again, way back when. Oh wait, no, this had a name change. I can't check this one. Because it had a name change, it got refreshed with its buy orders. Here you go. Strange Optic Nerve. That didn't get a name change. So yeah. This is a single class cosmetic. And when it first appeared, it went down, 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 down. But strange. And people do buy them to trade up. But at its cheapest, it was selling for around 20 cents. 20 cents. So I still would do like a 10, 12 cent buy order. But then with my second buy order, I'd probably do around 20 cents. But if I was wise to the fact that this was a single class hat, I know that would go down in price faster. Unless it's very silly or gimmicky. So in comparison, we have this strange aquarium. Wow, look how goofy this is. So in game, these eyeballs, they actually float around. They move. They move around. And a lot of people thought, yeah, that's really funny. I need to use that. So it's an all-class, very goofy idea. It's in the eye region, so that's fairly in demand. So how did this perform? When this first appeared, it was fairly pricey because a lot of people wanted it. It held up. It was sitting at around $2 for a while, but eventually, because it's being opened so much, it goes down and down and down. And at its cheapest, it started to sell for around 60 to 70 cents. All class, in demand, silly. I still would have offered... Well, when I first saw it, it actually offered 15 pennies. 15 pennies, which is equal to 15 to 17 cents. Because I looked at it and I thought I could see that probably selling for around $2. And it did. And I picked up a lot of them for cheap. Because I knew... I've learned from the past. I've seen this happen before. I looked at it and I knew, yep, that's definitely going to be selling for around $1 to $2 for a while. And with my second buy order, I did around 40 to 50 cents. That proved to work out very nicely as well. Again, from past experience, I could look at it, I could make a decision. But, you know, are you understanding how a single class hat can suffer quickly, but a all class interesting cosmetic can hold up its price? And it still is holding up its price fairly alright right now. It did have a bit of a stumble. You know, at this point, back in March, it was selling for around 60 cents at most. But now, probably because we're getting closer to Halloween, it's now selling for around $1.15? Yeah, $1.15. So it's doing better. So that's nice. It's cool. But remember, blues, if the blues get really cheap, you can always trade up to get these purples. So keep that in mind. 10 blues to trade up to a purple, but because there's so many purples, it's a bit, ooh. Now, this strange goalkeeper, just to quickly point out to you, this is a, isn't that a, what's this? It's all class. It's very sinister. Ooh. But fairly simple design, pretty nice thing to paint, you know. That took off very nicely. Now, I actually didn't do a buy order in this because I wasn't fast enough. Remember, here's another thing. If you're not the fastest to buy order it, maybe you just got to kind of look at it and think, you know what, I wasn't fast enough. If it's already got tons of buy orders, maybe it's best I just leave it. You can do that. You can do that. I decided to do that, and then it ended up becoming $3. Even right now, it's around $3. Way back when it was being opened a ton, yeah, at its lowest, it was still around $2. So, yeah, I just didn't see it. I make mistakes sometimes. I wasn't fast enough. But yeah, you can understand that the 8 to 10 cent buy order thing still works for even the single class purples, even the strangers as well. But if you want to be a bit more aggressive, you need a second account and you probably want to offer a fair bit more. But you constantly got to monitor the prices. And now we move on to the pinks. And, well, the value of the pinks can, of course, be affected by the value of the purples, because remember, 10 of those can be traded up to get a pink. So when we get to them, come on, show yourself. Pinks tend to be a bit more extravagant, a bit more interesting. So I don't even need to bother showing only the strangers and whatnot. Let's take a look at what we see here. This is a single class. This is an all class. This is a single class, but it's interesting. So actually, no, I think Gruesome Gord is an all class. Nope, it's just Spy. Right. Spy is a fairly in-demand class. It's a pretty interesting mask for him. But, look at that price. By December, this was selling for less than 30 cents. Single class pinks can get very cheap fairly quickly. You have to be knowledgeable of that. Now, if it looks super scary, if it was all class, maybe it would sell a whole lot better. But no. And here is a all class hat. just to verify. Here we go. Take a look. Oh, wow. All class hat. Very nice. But it's selling for, right now, about 48.50 cents. Not very in demand. Highest buy order is 39 cents. What went wrong? Well, it's very gimmicky for Halloween. It's not going to be very in demand when it's not Halloween time, when it's not October. It happens. But when it first appeared, what price was it selling for? After a few days, it was still selling around $1.30. Towards the end of October, it was selling for around 60 cents. By the middle of November, it's selling for about 30 cents. So learn from what you see here and apply it to when the new things appear. So pinks, even though they're higher grade, they can still get fairly cheap very quickly. And then we've got the Wandering Wraith. And this was special, all based on the fact that it can be a quick switch misc. Now, it's also very interesting. Look at that. Even though it's a single class for Pyro. Am I correct? Yes, Pyro only. Damn, buddy. Oh, God. It had an extra interesting element to it that helped boost up the price. So that made it a little bit more interesting. But it's also very sinister, very cool. Yeah, it's scary, but you could use that throughout all of the year. So, you know, when it's just a big scary skull, you can use that all year. I declare it, yes. But that was very in demand fairly quickly. Keep an eye on the price. Even though we saw that happen, towards the end of October, it's still selling for around $1.80. And then it gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. But to begin with, it's sitting at around $2.50. If you were to do a buy order on a pink, I've seen pinks go straight all the way down to around 25 cents fairly quickly. The safest option for a pink buy order, 20 cents for a regular pink. Now, when it gets to strange, yeah, you know, for some reason the strange has become a whole lot more valuable. But remember. Do you remember when I told you the odds? If you did 126 unboxings, 75 blue, blah 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 blah, you get the idea. Stranges are even harder to get, and with that, it kind of just reinforces their value. So even though this wasn't very valuable when it was just a regular, that's still selling for $3. That's selling for around $3.50 to $4. This is selling for almost $4 and $4.50. So they're still fairly valuable. But again, you've got to learn from the past, see how they've played out when they first appeared. So when this literally first appeared, some of them sold for around $6 to $7. After a week, it still was selling for around $4. After another week or two, it started to sell for around $2.20. So yeah, probably the smartest thing to do when you see a pink strange appear is offer around $1. And if you want to offer a little bit more, maybe go for $1.50, maybe around $2. With an all class, as you can see right here, that's different. Maybe it's more special. Well, of course, it's all class, duh. It's also strange, duh. But once it got about 2 weeks into October, this was selling for around $3. But ever since then, it's kind of held that price. So now it's starting to pick up. I think some people have started to buy these out. Quantity down, prices up. The usual. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Let's now move on to red. And there's a big problem with this red, for example. You need to be prepared, and we'll look at the summer 2020 as well as a good comparison. This only had a single red, which made it super easy to get hold of. Why? Because you could just get the cheapest pink, grab all of them, trade up, get that red. And, well, damn, is that the actual price of that red right now? Don't tell me it's 40 cents. That's got to be a glitch. Surely it's a glitch. Oh, my. Okay. Well, now you can see how bad it gets. This red wasn't that special. Yeah, okay. Oh, towering patch of pumpkins. It wasn't that special. People weren't super into it. That should have been a blue. But everybody could agree that probably with blue, maybe a purple at best. But for some reason it's red. Maybe because it's very gimmicky for Halloween. That could very well be the answer. But that being the red caused. Look at the price. It's barely 40 cents. It is bad. And let's look at the reaction to it. So after about 2 weeks, it's barely over $1. After another 2 weeks, it's about 60 cents. When you only have a single red, and it's very gimmicky for the holiday, it's not going to last. It's not going to do well. Now, in contrast, when you get 2 reds, it actually works out a whole lot better, because one usually tends to be the cheaper one, or the other one tends to be the more expensive one. In this particular instance, Rocco is a single class cosmetic. It's a bit goofy. I kind of would have thought that would have been a pink, but it got put to be a red, which is fine. It's only for Sniper. But in contrast, we have this very interesting looking decorated veteran hat. And it comes in various different customizable options. You can paint it as well. Over here, look to the right. It's an all-class hat. You could do so many different design choices and whatnot. So much potential to use with it. And that's why it's more in demand. That's why it's higher price. So when there's 2, the reds tend to be more valuable. The only reason why Rocco is still around $3.50 is because the decorated veteran also exists. If we only had Rocco, this would probably be around 40 cents as well, because it would be far too easy to get a hold of in terms of trade-ups, and you're more, well, when you get a red, it's a 50-50 whether you're going to get Rocco or a decorated veteran. And yeah. So, yeah, keep that in mind, and then we look at the strangers. So, well, actually, first of all, what do we learn from here? If it's too gimmicky for Halloween, and if it doesn't look special enough, then even then, it's still held up, sold for over $1, up until the 3rd week of October. It's perfectly fine to just do a single dollar buy order on a new red cosmetic. Now, if it is actually fairly interesting looking and special, you could offer $2. When I first saw these two, now I can't remember. Well, here you go, Rocco. I looked at Rocco. I instantly realised, well, Rocco is a single class cosmetic. It's probably not going to be so in demand. I offered $1, €1, $1. That's perfectly fine. And have I bought a Rocco yet? I have not. But at some point, I reckon I will eventually. It might slowly go down in price. It might slowly go up in price. I don't know. It depends on how much the summer 2022 case is going to get opened. And with Halloween coming up, it's probably going to get opened a lot because recency bias, as I said in the beginning, yeah. But this actually took... So here's another thing. This actually got its name changed. It used to just be called Decorated Veteran, and then they changed it to The Decorated Veteran. And I did a video about that. So initially, when this first actually appeared, I can't... Wait, if I did this, will the old one still appear? It does. Does it show the original? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, we can work with that. Splendid. So when this first appeared, it was selling for around $25 to $30, and then as it progressed after a while, it then went all the way down to around $12 to $13. Not the end of the world, but you got a good idea of the value. I might need to remove that buy order because it no longer exists. So 2 people are holding out still. It's not special. It's not unique. It's just because they sold it before the name change. So when you get a very interesting looking red, very valuable, very customizable, maybe offering $3-4 couldn't hurt. $2 to $3 is perfectly fine. And then you do an extra buy order on a second account. Maybe you want to bump it up. Maybe I want to do $5 to $6 or $7. That's fine. Maybe I want to do a third buy order. Maybe I want to do around $10. That's an option that you could do. But when it gets to strangers, you can see a massive difference. And remember what I said. You can trade up for these still. When it's uniques, you can trade up for the uniques. When it's strangers, you can trade up for the strangers. When you have a very valuable red strange, that tends to bring up the price for the pinks as well, which could also bring up the price for the purples, which could also bring up the price for the blues. You know, trickle down economics. Well, yeah, technically, yeah. So yeah, when it gets to strangers, they tend to be a whole lot more valuable because it's incredibly unlikely that you'll get them. I believe, I might be wrong, but a strange red grade I think might be rarer to see than an unusual. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% confident to sit there and say that. But if I'm looking in comparison with the CSGO knives and whatnot, it's rarer to get like a minimal wear and a factory new a red grade CSGO weapon than it is to get a knife for a pair of gloves. So that logic probably applies to here as well. So these are a lot harder to get, but again, you can trade up to them. But yeah, that right now is selling for around $35 to $40. This right here being the cheaper option because of the trade ups. Oh no, I got Rocket instead of decorated veteran. But yeah, that's still worth around $25. So we'll just take a look, see the history. You know, the routine I've told you throughout all of this. Yep, comes out, gets fairly cheap, goes up, down, slowly goes and gets to here. So when it first came out, this is selling for around $30, $35, gets down to about $22, $23, goes up again, down, up, down, and it's settled to around the price it currently is, which is around $25. Now, because when I first initially saw Rocco, I thought, oh no, nobody's going to want that. I got that wrong. But I only offered around $2.20 to $2.50. Yeah, no success there. So I've learned my lesson. Maybe I need to offer a whole lot more in the future. But as time goes on, would Rocco get cheaper? Probably not. And with this, this was my first buy order. I offered $3.50, and then I did another buy order. I offered maybe $10, and then did another buy. No, I might have done another buy order. I can't remember, but I definitely would have done a $10 buy order for the all-class, interesting-looking, strange factory new, not factory new, strange red grade hat. Makes sense? So I haven't been successful in buying one of these when I offered around $4 to $5. Didn't work. So what are you going to offer? What do you reckon you're going to put down? And with that, shall we talk about unusuals? Oh, God. We're going on. Now, I do talk about unusual pricing back in the playlist over here with the buy orders. So that is something that you can learn from there. But we can go over it very quickly. It's not too hard to talk about. So single class and all class unusuals do get affected by their pricing. A single class unusual, so a hat that's only for a single class, usually will be cheaper than an all class. Because sometimes we get very valuable effects. And, you know, a lot of people like to chase an effect rather than the hat. The unusual effect can carry the value of the hat that you get. So with that, when I look here, this is an all class and it's actually the cheapest one. But it's so daft looking and it's so gimmicky for Halloween that you wouldn't want to use that during any other time during the year. So let's put that aside. Then we got the single class hat, the medic only unusual optic nerve, the second cheapest. Alright, it does actually look pretty interesting. But yeah, you get the idea. Now, all class. No, yep, all class. This Crimson Cash case is very nice. But blue, purple, blue, strange, unusual blue, by the way. Blue, yeah. So some of the more interesting looking hats tend to sell better. And then this is a higher grade. It's not as interesting as the turned over hat, but yeah, like people prefer this over that. And it is a nice looking hat. Maybe they got bought out, you know. The prices that we see right now, you know, it might be a fair bit different. Maybe it's progressed since then. You've got to take a nice quick look and see how these sales have performed over time. Again, you've got to do all that. But the buy orders, the pricing, it's gone down since then. When it was all nice, flashy and new, it was like that. So my usual for a new blue unusual hat, if it's single class, I'll probably offer around $10, and I'll do a second buy order at around $15. Now, actually, fairly recently, I bought a single class hat. Let's go take a look. Is it over here? Show yourself. Present yourself to me. TF2 inventories have been a bit buggy recently. I think some of you might have noticed that. But that's actually a purple. And it's actually gotten fairly cheap very quickly. If I were to go over to here. Come on, Summer 2022. Let's take a look at you. From what we can see over here. Whoops. I was confused. What am I looking at? What am I looking at? Unusual files. What's going on? I deleted the wrong thing. Oops. So, unusuals. Blue single class, blue all class, purple single class, no, that's a blue single class. Am I correct? Yep, blue single class. So blue single class, blue all class, purple single class, blue single class. Now, is this a purple? I believe that's a purple. Yep, that's a purple. So purple single class, but it's looking very cool. Blue single class, but soldier hats tend to be more valuable. It's a purple. My apologies. I got mixed up. Sorry. But yeah, you can see all of this when you do this all yourself. And then the strange, unusual blues tend to appear fairly early. And now we've got a pink single class here. And yeah, learn from the prices. Here we go. What do I normally offer? So for blues, blue unusuals, I would offer $10, maybe $15. Now, if you only could do one buy order, you can pick between $10 and $15. If you have two accounts, do $10 for one, $15 for the other. Maybe you could push a bit more aggressive, go $20. But you've got to monitor it. You've got to keep an eye on it. Prices of the unusuals tend to go down fairly quickly. Now we look at then we got strange unusual. For strange unusual, well, how quickly have these gone down? They're valuable. They're valuable. What about with the strange unusuals over here? How quick do they appear? You got some right there, but they're selling for around $40 to $50, so they do hold up their pricing. So with that, with strange unusuals, you could probably push for around $15 to $20, maybe a little bit more. But that's the price I normally put down. I have been successful. I have bought a hat very recently from this collection. What was it? It was a strange unusual. What were you? Was it a throttle head? No, it was something different. I bought something fairly recently for around $40. No, it was this. It was the strange unusual this. That's it. I bought this. I bought a strange unusual one of these for around $20, and I instantly sold it to the highest buy order. It was a bad effect, but I instantly made about $30 to $35 profit. Yeah. So if you're in a decent window, a decent range, you will pick some up. But don't offer like 10 or 20 quantity requests. Only offer around 5. Or 10 if you really want to push it. 10 if you're going to offer around... So for the regular unusual blues, you can offer 10 for the $15 buy order, but that's going to probably disappear very quickly. The $10 buy order is going to take a while. So that's why I normally offer 5 quantity for the $10 buy order. Now, with the strange unusuals, I offer around $15 to $20. Maybe a bit more if it's an all class, and an extra buy order if it's an all class. So for that, I would offer... around 3 quantity per each. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what I was saying next. Now with the purples, I'd do around the same. If it's an all class, offer a bit more, of course, but again, I'd offer around $15 to $20, and then maybe $25, $30 if it's an all class. I'm thinking strange unusual. Sorry, I skipped ahead too quickly. For a regular purple unusual, I'd probably stick, if it's a single class, again, maybe $10 to $15. If you're going to do 2 buy orders, keep them separate. If it's an all class, I'd probably push it up to $20, maybe $25, if it's an interesting looking all class. Now, for strange, unusual purples, well, from what we can see there, I have the strange, unusual purple here. Now, that's an all class. That's pink. Oh, no, so let's forget that. So this is very valuable. That's very valuable. So... For strange unusuals, maybe you offer a whole lot more. But remember, you have a limited amount of buy order amount. You've always got to keep an eye on how much buy order amount that you have available. You've always got to work around that. So if you're going to offer a fairly high amount, maybe you only want to request 1 or 2. Keep that in mind. Now, when we get to pinks is a bit of a different story. So if it's a single class pink, maybe it's not going to be so valuable. In fact, let's go over here. But it's still fairly valuable. So that's still selling for around $50 to $60. As you can see here, I did a 15 to 20. That's about $22. That's a $22 buy order there. I haven't been successful so far. But in good time, will I be successful? I'm pretty sure I will. So pink unusuals are very, very hard to get because, of course, the numbers, the possibilities are very slim. So, yeah. And then the strange unusual here is double the price. So for a pink unusual, I'd probably comfortably offer around $20, maybe $25 to $30, depending on if it looks interesting. If it doesn't look interesting, if it's all class, offer a lot more. Maybe you could offer $30 to $40, but just be prepared. Is it actually all class? Yeah. So yeah. And then strange unusuals, you could again. You got to realise this. Do you see this right here? That's a strange, unusual Jolly Jester. That should have come out in December 2021. It still hasn't appeared. Not a single one has appeared on the market. So you've got to keep in mind scarcity. How likely are you even going to see them? Maybe only offer one buy order and do a very decent price and leave it there. Like I bought my my Lucky Cat hat. I put down a around a $40 buy order. No, I didn't. No, yes, I did because I randomly bought it for $10. I did a $30 to $40 buy order. I picked one up for $10, and lo and behold, it's worth about $3,000 to $4,000 because I got a very good effect as well. So someone told me that. They don't seem to be active. Not my problem. So yeah, be prepared for interesting all classes. Strange unusuals probably going to be very valuable, even if they're single class. But you only want to probably throw a low price offer, maybe about $20, $30. If it's all class, maybe again that or a bit more. See what happens. And then we move on to the red. Now, even though this was very bad as a unique, fairly bad as a strange, as an unusual, it was actually very valuable. Very hard to come by. People are actually buying it. People change their tune if it's unusual. Now, of course, it also has to have a decent effect and whatnot. Yeah, that makes a big difference. So, yeah, red hats, even if they're unusual, even if they're bad and they're unusual, they still are very valuable. So keep an eye out for that. I'm just going to quickly read what people are saying. Can't believe someone is actually talking about trading on Twitch. I'm so glad to find you. Oh, buddy. Nice to meet you too. I have a YouTube. If someone in the chat could quickly point that out. So yeah, red grade hats, when they're unusual, still tend to be very valuable. But does that, does it always follow? Well, that's an all class. That's an all class. What if I search for all the unusual reds? I hope I don't get other things. Let's just see. Is there other possible red unusuals that I could see? What's the cheapest red? Okay, so yeah. That right there is selling for around $160. That is the cheapest red unusual hat. And then strange unusual, because they're so incredibly unlikely to be found. I'm still waiting for strange unusual Monsieur Granule, the pink hat that came out in summer 2022. I'm still waiting for the strange unusual decorated veteran to appear. That case came out about, 2 months ago? 2.5 months ago? Still hasn't appeared. So, yeah, you really do have to keep in mind for the scarcity. Maybe only offer one request and make it a fairly decent price. And in good time, maybe a year or so, you still haven't managed to buy it, you can just give up then. That's probably the answer I'd give you. I did not mean to talk for 42 minutes, yet here I am. I did not mean to do that. I'm very, very sorry. But I'm sure you've taken all that knowledge in and you know how to approach this now. I'm very sorry if I was a bit rambly. But there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot to take in. And I'm offering you like 7 to 8 years experience. But I've made great profits from this. I pick up things all the time. I insta-flip it. I'm good. Are you? We can learn, we can try, we can improve. TF2's not dead. It's still alive, damn it. So, why don't we just take a nice quick look onto the workshop. What do we see? Because we do have to keep an eye out for, are we going to see nice effects? Oh, that's big. Damn. Big, huge effect is that God tier. We need our God tier effects. We need to keep an eye out for all of the new cosmetics. Maybe also keep an eye out for the taunt unusual effects as well. The war paints can't hurt. But what I also want to do is just specifically look for the unusual effects, because there's a special effect I want to show you. First of all, Runic Gateway. Damn, buddy, look at this. Look at this. That looks really cool. All the things falling down and whatnot. Very high, fairly high up, fairly big. That could it be an all class? And they have different designs as well. I like it. I like it. So where is it? Mr. Trakmer, my thumbnail creator. Very nice chap, very nice fellow. He's uploaded his own effect. I think this is his first one. Yep, Mr. Trakmer right here. Good job, buddy. I wanted to make sure I gave him a nice bit of, hey guys, take a look. So there you go, Trakmer, that's for you. Thank you for all the help so far this year. I'm sorry if I ask you for silly thumbnails at random times. But yep, gentlemen, you've got to keep an eye on all of these new unusual effects. Are they interesting? Are they god tier? Are they good for us? Are they spooky as well? The spooky ones are the ones that are more likely going to be accepted because it's more fitting for Halloween. I've seen a very interesting looking Cold Cosmos clone. Where are you? This as well. Would you sit there and say that's Halloween style? Would you say that's Halloween? Maybe for summer. But where was the interesting looking spooky retro? Here's the retro one. Is that Halloween? Would you sit there and say that's a Halloween style effect? Probably not. If it got accepted, sure, maybe it would have one effect that isn't super Halloween-y, but would just do very nicely. But I can't see. There it is, Aurora Star. I might have shown this off already. Very nice looking effect, but that's probably better suited for Christmas. And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets accepted for Christmas. It specifically says Smissmas, no sign of Halloween, but it could still appear for Halloween. So very nice, big effect. God tier unusuals, we need them. And that would, of course, drive up the price for the cases. There is one last thing that I want to talk about. That is the buy orders for the cases. The new case that drops. What might you offer for the case? First of all, do you want to see a magic trick? I'm going to make this money increase. Wow! Yeah, I got these earlier. So right now, the Summer 2020 case. It is the case that most people currently have, but I want to show this off because there was a very interesting thing that happened with this case when it first appeared, and it's something you all need to be aware of. So if you want to do a buy order on the new case, do prepare for the fact that it's going to come fairly quickly and the price is going to drop fairly quickly because a lot of idle accounts are going to be idling in TF2, getting the case, sending it to the main account, and then they're going to dump them all on the market. And for the first day or two, the price will get very cheap very quickly. That's exactly what happened with this summer 2022 case. But what then happened afterwards was, once all the dumping was out of the way, once everybody could actually work, so it got dumped, price went all the way down to, it flatlined at 3 pennies. But when the idlers stopped, because they couldn't get a new case, the time for it had come because you can only get one a week. Well, you can get 1 and 2. You can get 2, but you have to play for a significantly high amount of time. People would only normally idle for 1 single case. So they do that. They grab them, they sell them. Price goes all the way down to 3 pennies. But then after that, once everybody can't really get a new case, the price actually starts to go up. This summer 2022 case went to 3 pennies, and then a day or two later shot back up to around 20 to 30 cents. And then it went back down again slowly. But keep an eye out for that. Did the same thing happen to the Crimson Cash case? Let's go take a look. Loads of people have a massive network of bot accounts that will idle. So this, down. This one actually didn't recover very quickly. In fact, it didn't even recover. Far too many people doing idling. So if you're going to do an offer, if you're going to put down an offer for a case, I normally offer around 10 cents. Because the case when it first comes out will sit around for maybe $1 or so. You could probably do 15 cents. 15 cents couldn't hurt. But you've got to be quick. Got to be quick. But you've also got to monitor it. Because after a day or two, it's immediately going to go down to around 20, maybe 15 cents. And then it's going to flatline. And then with all the people that have idled, once they've stopped, maybe the price will go back up again for a short while, then go back down. So I don't see any signs of it flatlined and then it went back up. But Crimson Cash case definitely had some very in-demand things, and of course, it had 8 out of 10 all classes. It had the very interesting Wandering Waif. Loads of people wanted it. So yeah, if you're going to do a buy order in a case, offer around 10 to 20 cents maybe. Keep an eye on it. It'll go up in price, it'll go down in price, it'll go back up in price. What I saw with the Summer 22 case this year is that, well, I can just show you. It only shows you it going down. It went down to around $1, and it went back up to about $2, and it went down. But what we should also remember was the inventory was absolutely bugged when this first appeared, when this Summer 2022 case appeared. It very likely will happen again. for Halloween. Keep an eye out for that. It'll probably bug. Hardly any people can sell theirs. I mean, I make a great big fuss of it in the summer 2022 release video. And the price went up because of that. So, yeah, keep an eye out. So, now let's just quickly shift and see how many of these Crimson Cash cases are on the market. As we can see, it's selling for 13 cents, 83,500 on the market. How far down can I see? Up to about 24 cents. We are in a better position than what we saw when we first looked at this back in around July, when I first talked about it. And now we look at the Tough Break case. 8,500. Price at the moment is 50 cents. How far down can I see? We can still see to around $1. So if we have 8,500 and it cuts off at around 5,000 from around the dollar region, that means all that you see here is 3,500 cases. Do you reckon all those will disappear if we get God tier effects in Halloween 2022? I sure hope so. I sure hope so. So, 2 weeks away, guys, I reckon. I did not mean to talk for this long, but I did. Because I care, and I want to help you out. Oh, God, it's midnight. Oof. Okay, best of luck to everybody. I hope you're all nice and set up. I enjoy talking about TF2. It's the first economy that I got involved in Steam, so it's got my heart. I'm prepared. I'm experienced. I know what I'm going to do. What are you going to do? Hopefully like and comment. And I'm not going to ask for that. You do what you want to do. I've given you all the information I can. Chat, is there any questions you wanna offer or you wanna ask? I can ask away now. Is there anything else you want to ask for? Sorry if me tapping that was by accident. Sorry. Chat. What extensions do you use for trading? I use Steam Inventory Helper and Augmented Steam. Steam Inventory Helper allows me to see all the different prices that you probably just saw there. So if I were to go back to here, go to I could do Candy Crown, that's fine. It allows me to see different currencies and buy orders and whatnot. It's very nice. Show me more. Cool. Back over to here. Yeah, I can do that all over here as well. Show me it in euros. Cool. Steam Inventory Helper. Very nice. Might as well just quickly grab that and show you. Ta-da! It's right there. And, I'm obviously in Chrome as well. And I also use... Oh, go away. Augmented Steam. Augmented Steam. There you go. So yeah, that's what I use. Alright, so Crimson Cash, I think you've already peaked, but if we get very good effects, you could go higher. So much to talk about. I think I finally got it all out of me. Gentlemen, best of luck to all of you. Have a wonderful Halloween. Enjoy all the new content. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. Get your money nice and prepared. Oh, I need a drink. I need to calm down. I've spoke far too long. Bye.